be talking about Merrick Kaminsky. This guy is the CEO of CI Games, which is the creator of Lords of the Fallen. So the reason we're talking about him is because this guy, whether this be a genuine feeling or whether it be for the purposes of marketing his game and his studio, has actively and vehemently and very vocally come out against DEI. And this isn't like some run of the mill comment like, oh, well, we don't really want to get into it. No, the guy came out and pretty much said that it's never going to happen. And furthermore, people in the comments have been tagging this guy and saying, hey, look, like body type A and B. Why is this a thing? Maybe we could remove it. And his response to that is this, and we're actually going to read this post. I am very glad and relieved to hear this. But if it is so, then I think there is one element of Lords of the Fallen 2023 that you should take a look at. The use of body type A and body type B in character creation in place of what they actually are, male and female, which is absolutely true. One of the more extreme and pervasive elements of woke ideology behind DEI is the desire to erase and invalidate the entire concept of gender, which this AB framework is a manifestation of. It would take only a small and simple patch to remove this one DEI element from Lords of the Fallen and allow players to choose between a male or female character like used to be the norm. You would be a hero to most gamers for doing it, hopefully set a trend, and generate considerable goodwill towards your company that would carry over to your future products. Hell, the fact that this would go viral in a positive way would likely bump Lords of the Fallen sales more than enough to offset whatever man hours were paid out to make the change. The change would be insignificant. He's right. It would be very, very quick to do. And the benefit to you would be extreme. It would be huge. I know for a fact that there are some gamers who refuse to buy games that use body type and place of gender, and that group almost certainly includes some who would otherwise have bought one of the best recent Souls-likes, and likely still would if this element would be removed. I hope you read this and give it consideration, and thank you for rejecting DEI. This is a great statement. I really like the way this is worded. He says he's a lawyer. Makes sense. Good point. Let us look deeper into that. So, I mean, he's not exactly saying, we're going to do it right away, but that's a great response. Like, you make a good point, we're going to look into it. That's better than what most gaming companies do. Most gaming companies, they tell you that you're a bigot, you're a misogynist, they didn't want you anyway. And a bunch of their staff and employees come out on Twitter to, gab with each other about how toxic and terrible gamers are. But yeah, this would be an amazing precedent to return to normalcy. It's male and female, you're not fooling anyone. Body type A and B is not a thing. If you choose body type B, it's not like, well, I'm a man who chooses body type. No. There's male, and then there's female, and then there's mentally ill, degenerate, disgusting freaks that should be rejected by the whole of humanity. Those people are on the left. They are a cancer. They are something to be overcome rather than to be accepted and tolerated. You wouldn't let cancer or a virulent disease run unchecked and sort of affirm it. You would do everything you can to purge it from, your body. You don't look at cancer and go, well, cancer cells are not my cells. No, you use chemotherapy to get it out. And that's what you have to do. You have to use chemotherapy to get these DEI activists out of your company. And this statement from the director, the CEO of CI Games, is a step in the right direction. The Lords of the Fallen studio CI Games will not integrate DEI elements in their games to maximize player enjoyment and commercial success, after having observed the high commercial risk these elements can represent. Brilliant. During a recent investor chat, the studio was asked about their stance on DEI in gaming. Global Marketing Director Ryan Hill confirmed that the studio remains committed to producing player-first video games that prioritize excellent user experience with compelling themes and characters created specifically for core and adjacent audiences. What a phenomenal response. While some recent video games have taken the opportunity to implement social and political agendas within their experiences, Hill continued, the lower than expected commercial performances of some of these games show that many players do not appreciate these elements. As such, the studio will continue to develop experiences that maximize player enjoyment and commercial success. Bravo. Bravo. Brilliant. That was well said. It was well articulated. Brilliant. That was the perfect answer. What are your thoughts on DEI? Well, it's not coming anywhere near us. Amazing. Hopefully, they stick by this. But I really wanted to talk about it because this is a step in the right direction. This is a CEO. This is somebody that is willing to go out there and make this definitive statement. Like I said, this doesn't feel like some sort of wishy-washy middle of the road. They acknowledge that DEI is poison to brains. They acknowledge that players don't like it. There's no wiggle room with this. So Pirate Nation says Lords of the Fallen Studio, CI Games, will not integrate DEI elements in their games, and he comes out and says exactly, no, we will not. Definitive, clear, to the point, no ambiguity, no paragraphs, no. But you have to understand. No. Exactly, no, we will not. Beautiful. And this is going to generate him a lot of goodwill. I'll tell you what, this needs to be made a thing. Companies need to be rewarded for doing things like this. Studios need to be rewarded. It needs to be so apparently clear that the culture has shifted. And that nobody wants this. And you have to make them feel it in the finances. You have to make it so obvious that this sort of stuff doesn't fly anymore. And we're starting to see a change. Marvel Rivals is basically taking the gaming industry by storm. No pun intended, Storm looks amazing. There is a definite shift. There's a definite change. And I think it's for the better. I think that it's already starting to pay dividends. When you see CEOs of gaming companies coming out and rejecting this stuff, and Ubisoft, that has been the champion of this garbage, now looking to file bankruptcy, committing more and more unforgivable errors. Oh, hey, we're gonna release Assassin's Creed Shadows on March 20th, 2025. A game where you go around as a black man beating up on Asians and killing them. Brilliant. Brilliant. Oh, and we're gonna release it on basically year 9/11, one of the worst terrorist attacks in Japanese history. You can either go down that route, where your company is filled with disgusting, repulsive, virtue-signaling, subhuman garbage that are all left-wing and gross and disgusting. Or you can go with the Tyminski approach. We call it the Tyminski maneuver. You can reject DEI in its entirety publicly, vociferously, and you can generate a lot of goodwill amongst gamers, and you can have people that are coming out to support your game, which is absolutely what's going to happen. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think it's pretty obvious why I wanted to highlight this, why I wanted to talk about it, because I think that this is good, and I think this person should be celebrated because he's doing the right thing. Now, I know that there are going to be a lot of people who are like, where was this guy, 10 years ago? Where were these? No, that's the wrong attitude to have. I understand it. Trust me, I get it. But we're at a turning point now. You can't look in the past, you got to look to the future. And what you have to do now is you have to be willing to make people bend the knee, but once they have bent the knee, to help them back up. I was actually reading Game of Thrones, and Tywin says this to Joffrey. He's educating him on what it is to be a king. Like everyone knows from the show, it's any man who must say I am the king is no true king. Well, that's an abbreviated version. That particular segment, Tywin is explaining to him that it's okay to bring people to heel. It's okay to bring people to their knees when they've done something wrong, when they've gone against you, when they've abandoned, their principles, whatever. It's okay to bring them to their knees and get them to bend the knee. But once you do so, you have to help them up. Otherwise, nobody will bend the knee. Nobody will bend the knee. Because they know that there's no upside for them. You're going to do what you're going to do anyway. And so I think it's important. I think it's important to talk about this, to acknowledge this, and to say things are improving. Things are improving and they're going in the right direction. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's video. I appreciate the support for the channel. I appreciate the support for the cause. I appreciate support wherever it comes. And you guys have been very generous, both with your time and your words and even your finances. And that's been incredible. Giving financially to the channel, helping me make this thing run. It's been humbling, really. And I mean that. And it's interesting because some people get uncomfortable when I talk about this stuff, but here it is. The way I see it is this: your money is essentially your life. You pay for food, you pay electricity, you pay bills. It's your hard-earned money through your time, through your effort, through your blood, sweat, tears, all that. And for you to choose to give up that to help the channel, my content, because you enjoyed something, because you support something, it's hard to really put into words what that means. You don't know me, but you know what I'm saying. You either agree with it or disagree with it, but I would hope at the end of the day you would realize that what I'm saying is true. It's a huge, huge thing to watch somebody give up themselves in that way. So I will always say thank you. I will always bring up how appreciative I am. I've said it before and I've said it again. I don't understand how some of these content creators can get $100 donations and be like, wow, that's really generous. Okay, so back, it's like, I always look at that and I'm just like, I'm floored. Like if someone walks up and gives you $100, like wow, that's like one of the greatest. Like that. I don't know. Maybe I'm going a little bit too much into this, but I've always been amazed at the generosity of people. It's incredible. It's incredible. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for today's video. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.